Our first guest tonight voted against the fiscal cliff deal in the House, and he says it's just another deal by Washington insiders with no real solutions, and he points to a lack of courage and will in Washington. He also rallied opposition against Speaker Boehner's Plan B proposal after the Republican leadership removed him from the House Budget and Agriculture committees, a move he described as petty, vindictive politics. Joining us, Congressman Tim Huelskamp of Kansas. Good to have you with us, Congressman.
Lou, good evening. Pleasure to be here.
You obviously voting against this plan. I've just watched this market rally here in New York by 308 points on the Dow after a deal in which the national debt will rise by $4 trillion and nearly 80% of all Americans are going to see a tax hike. What are you guys doing down there?
Well, the rally looks like Wall Street thought things were good, but for Main Street, this wasn't a good deal. Again, it raises taxes, increases spending, didn't deal with entitlement reform, adds a bunch of corporate welfare in there. It is a bad deal. It's the typical Washington deal. Most Americans are opposed to it, and certainly at the end of the day, most Republicans oppose this deal.
Well, most Republicans, indeed, 151 of you in the House voting against the measure. Speaker Boehner had to turn to the Democrats to get a majority vote. I mean, this is stunning stuff. What does it portend for Speaker Boehner's tenure as Speaker? Will he be challenged?
Well, we'll see in the next couple days. The vote's scheduled for tomorrow, but
right.
It is hard to tell. But again, this was the Speaker Boehner and the former Speaker Pelosi plan. They came together on that, and it's very close to what actually Speaker Pelosi wanted a few months ago. But yeah, I was shocked that the Speaker would run things across the floor that an overwhelming majority of Republicans at the end of the day says, no, we're not going to be about raising taxes. But again, you had Senate Republicans. They agreed with it. I think they walked right in the trap the president set for Republicans and said, we're going to raise taxes. And there were a few good things in there, you know, the death tax, some of the permanency. But at the end of the day, it's three strikes. It didn't solve our basic problem, and that's why today you had Moody's issue another warning. We're looking at a downgrade unless we get our fiscal house in order.
Yeah, a continued negative outlook by the ratings agency. No suggestion that it is going to reduce that rating, however. We're going to see, I'm sure, over the course of the next 2 months as you all try to come to terms over the issue of the sequestration, which right now will impose $1.2 trillion in automatic spending cuts. Well, automatic unless you all find another way to defer it for 2 months. What is your judgment as to what will happen?
Well, Lou, part of this deal was to raise spending yesterday, and it did that by delaying these cuts that were agreed to 17 months ago. As part of the debt deal in August 2011, Washington said, okay, we'll raise the debt ceiling, but we're really going to get serious about spending cuts. They went right through that $2.1 trillion borrowed dollars before cutting a dime. And for most Americans looking at that, say that's not serious. We've got 2 months to get our act in order in the next debt ceiling, and that's the real issue here. That's the real fiscal abyss, not just these tax increases. But don't forget as well, yesterday we had the bulk of those $1 trillion in new Obamacare taxes are kicking in as well. This is a double, triple whammy on the economy at Main Street level, and I believe it'll eventually end up at Wall Street level as well.
Well, as you point out, those taxes associated with the Affordable Care Act are not looking so affordable. The impact is, as you suggest, deeply concerning. Congressman Tim Huelskamp, we thank you for being with us. Come back soon. We're going to be following you in the 113th Congress, which begins here tomorrow, and we'll find out who the Speaker is going to be. And Congressman Huelskamp, I should point out one other thing. Whatever else Speaker Boehner did, he absolutely demonstrated the Senate Majority Leader Reid to be a liar. He sure isn't a dictator, is he?
Well, for those of us who got stripped of committees because we stood by principles, he had dictatorial qualities in dealing with that. But at the end of the day, I've got to work for 700,000 Kansans, not Mr. Reid or Mr. Boehner or the president, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
You and 435 other folks there in that beautiful building. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou.
Thanks, Congressman. Much